Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Tower. So it's tournament day and let's have a look at the battle conditions. So enemy speed, more enemies, protector ultimate, tank ultimate, fast ultimate. Okay, so it's going to be a short tournament, which is good because then I can get back to farming. So I guess the main difficulty in this case is from previous experience, it's going to be the boss is going to move to my tower very quickly, and on top of that we are going to get more enemies, so juggling the ranged enemies is going to be a bit more of a challenge, given that I don't have the increased attack speed from attack speed mastery. Protector ultimate, it's annoying to deal with, but not too bad. We might be unlucky in the sense that the ranged enemies is hiding in the protector shield, and that might be a cause for an early death. But that is pretty much RNG, so I don't think we can do anything about that. With project funding, I don't reckon the tanks will be too dangerous just yet. At least where I'm at, but at the later stages I think it might be a bit more dangerous. Okay, so the nice thing about this set of battle conditions is that there is no reduction to, given that we have so much stuff happening from the enemies alone, we don't have the reduction from orbs and from death ray, so I think those two would be pretty good to have. And okay, so let's go to the setup. So one thing we would like to do is, given that there is a fast battle condition, I think getting the range up would be good. We max out the range, shockwave is maxed as well, and right, so in terms of my labs, I've been working on getting my swarm radius. I think I would just max this out, and I was told that this is going to be a pretty good lab for my poison swamp, so I'm just going to get this, just put this two in for the time being, and at some point when ultimate crit mastery is done, maybe I will chuck in another swamp lab or something. Okay, so in terms of my tournament cards, I think I would be just keeping the standard setup. So given that there is going to be more enemies, wave accelerator and cash mastery, probably I don't want them. It's going to make things even more difficult than they already are. In terms of the modules, right, I need to set up my tournament modules. So the typical dimension core, project funding, maybe I'll go with death penalty today. And should I use my reroll shots? No, I don't think I'll use my reroll shots. I'll just keep it for the time being. So you might notice that I have 200 modules now. And that's because I haven't been shattering or merging any of my rare modules. Previously I was a bit too on the ball with this thing, and then the mission came along quite late that required me to do the mergers. I still managed to complete that, but you know, I don't want to put myself in that position. If that mission comes out, I know now that I would be in a good position to just max out or complete that mission immediately. Okay, so this is my enhancement setup. So nothing in coins, nothing in cells, nothing in recovery packages. I've got my cash bonus up to 2 times. I think this will help with project funding. Every little bit of damage would be useful. Free upgrades is at 1.28. Level skips same as before, 1.22. I've got an extra 5 into orb size, just because I had some spare coin lying around. And in terms of the damage tabs, I couldn't get any more from before into damage and crit factor and super crit multiplier, but I managed to get some into rend armor and damage per meter. So overall, because I have not worked on my rend labs and my damage per meter labs very much, I don't think it's going to play a big deal, but it's still damage. Damage is damage. In terms of the overall, this is how it's looking like. So the reason why I'm going with death penalty is because it's going to be the case that my Astral Deliverance, I don't have attack speed wrote onto it, but my death penalty has this +5 attack speed, and given that there's more enemies, we're going to get faster ranged enemies. I just want to be able to juggle them a bit better today. Right. In terms of the other stats, so for the HP related stuff, I don't think I need to bother with it. It's one shot anyway. And in terms of the level skips, it's the same as before. So health level skip is at 500, nothing into enemy level skips. In terms of my ultimate weapons, nothing much has changed from before. I still need to work on the chain lightning chance, maybe get my smart missiles up a little bit for the extra damage, especially now since my ultimate weapon crit mastery is almost maxed out. Having smart missiles that hit harder is probably going to be a good idea, because if I get an ultimate weapon crit, then probably I'll be doing more damage to the boss that way. With the chrono loop, I haven't gotten around to getting levels into this, and I would like to get another 2 or 3 levels at least into chrono loop. Where I put my stones recently is into Poison Swamp. So I think from the last tournament rewards, I managed to put 4 levels into damage. So now it's at 220 times. It's pretty decent damage overall, considering that I don't really have much investment into my Swamp Ren just yet. It's already doing the same amount of damage, or maybe slightly more, than my smart missiles during my farming runs. But because my radius is not maxed out yet, it might be a bit of less benefit in tournaments, especially since I'm running a large range today. So maybe my swamp radius is not large enough for the range that I'm looking at. But it's okay, I'll get there at some point. Okay, so let's think a little bit about what the playtesting would be today. And there is something that I would really like to do, and that is to not cancel intro sprint. If you recall from the patch notes, the developers have decided to, make things a bit more annoying for us, where they fixed this bug where Smart Demon mode is not stopping intro sprint. So what I had to do in the previous playtesting was to cancel my intro sprint earlier. Now what I would like to test today is to see how much of a detriment it would be if I do not cancel my intro sprint early. Am I going to be performing significantly worse? Because if not, then for the sake of my mental sanity, I think it's better to just let intro sprint play out all the way, and the tournament run would be very short, which means I can go back to doing other things aside from staring at the screen. Okay, so let's get into the first tournament. Okay, so hopefully we get into a good bracket. Let's go. And as usual for the start, there's a couple of things that I need to set up. So I'm going to set up my target priority. Because Protector's ultimate is here today, I'm going to put them as top priority, followed by ranged, followed by boss, followed by fast, and then closest. Yeah, I think maybe fast ahead would be a good idea. So the idea is that I kill the protectors as quickly as possible so that they don't shield any ranged enemies. Then I have to juggle the ranged enemies. After that, because the fast enemies are going to be buffing a lot of other enemies, I should try to get rid of them, and then finally the bosses. Although there is tank ultimate, I'm just going to put them at closest, since by the time the tank enemies get to my tower, probably my smart missiles would be taking care of most of them. So hopefully this works, but we'll tweak it if we need to at some point. So starting off, just enemy health level skips. In terms of my AWP position, maybe 73 meters would be good. Based on past play testing, I think 73 meters, I should be able to hit the bosses with a few of the AWPs at this distance. So I don't presume this tournament is going to be lasting very long, just because of the battle conditions that we've obtained, but that's okay. Everyone is facing the same sort of penalty. Yeah, so as you can see, my Poison Swamp range is not at my tower range yet. I think by the time I max out my Poison Swamp radius lab, I should be able to get it to be around the same distance as my tower range. So in terms of what I'm thinking of working on for my with my stones, the first thing that I'll be looking at is to try to get some uptime on a second Poison Swamp. But just because Poison Swamp is doing quite a bit of damage, it's going to be able to carry me further in my farming runs. From there, oh yes, so this is something that I wanted to mention in the previous video, but I was unable to because for some reason I couldn't render that portion of the video. But so I've been hanging out in Spartan's Discord channel. So everyone knows Spartan. If you don't know him, just do a quick YouTube search on Spartan the Tower and you will see his videos. So I've been hanging out in his Discord channel. For me it's in the morning, but I think for them it's in the evenings, and just chatting with a few of the players, and it's been really fun, a very fun experience. And today we had Crowbar Zero, who is one of the very endgame players, who entered the chat, and so I managed to send him some stuff and pester him. So thank you very much, Crowbar Zero, if you're watching this. He gave me some advice on how to progress my tower, and his advice was mainly focusing on setting up my tower to transition into black hole digester farming. For those of you who have been watching a couple of videos that I've made, you would know that my black hole digester is still at mythic plus level, and I'm still lacking 2 copies of it. So hopefully I get it soon, but in the meantime, as I'm waiting for my last 2 copies to get it to ancestral level, I should be focusing on getting my tower as ready as possible to eventually move to a black hole digester farm. So with that in mind, the next avenue after I've gotten some uptime on a second swamp would be to work on maybe boosting my GT plus, boosting my GT duration, reducing my death wave cooldown, and doing all of that before I dabble in other ultimate weapon pluses. So I presume in the short term, because of the economy focus nature, I probably wouldn't see much gains in terms of tournaments, but that is okay because my typical tournament performance is very consistent these days between rank 3 and rank 5 most of the time. So I don't think there would be a huge detriment to my stones by adopting his advice. Right, so enemy health level skips is maxed out. Let's just fast forward to a later stage of the run and we'll see how we go from there. Alright, we are back at wave 1240 and I think my wall has just broken. It must have been from a ranged enemy because there was no boss in that wave. But everything is moving so quickly I can't really be sure. The good thing about it is that if that was chip damage, it's not very regular, which means that I'm still able to juggle the enemies without having to lower the game speed. To be honest, I'm not sure if lowering the game speed actually helps, but I was told that it is. But in this run, especially since I'm a bit constrained for time today, I've decided not to lower the game speed. So for this run, I think I will just let it play out the way it normally goes without cancelling intro sprint, and we'll see how far we get from here and compare that with the next run where I'm going to cancel intro sprint after my wall breaks for the first time, and then my berserker would give me about this amount of damage. So hopefully this amount of damage is enough to allow me to sustain to the point where I get my wall fully rebuilt. Maybe then I will cancel the intro sprint. Alright, so it seems that I have enough damage to sustain to the point where my wall is rebuilt, but just barely. So what I'll do in the next run is to cancel my intro sprint after my wall breaks the second time. Okay, so wall has broken for the second time, which again there was no boss at that time, so I presume it must have been a ranged enemy that was blocked by the protector. So hopefully this does not happen too many times, because then I would start taking chip damage to my shields, and I think with Protector Ultimate it just introduces this added layer of uncertainty. Okay, so second wind has just procced, which means that now I can activate my demon mode, but as mentioned I will just leave it to the end to activate my demon mode. So I think there must have been an error with the game description, because the game description says that Smart Demon mode would cancel intro sprint, but my demon mode has not activated. Instead it was second wind that was activated. Okay, in any case, demon mode is now activated. Alright, it is wave 1672 and we have finally died. Let's have a look at the stats. So I was killed by a fast enemy. It is what it is. So I got very lucky, 7 death defies. If we have a look at the damage, clearly Chain Lightning did the most damage. But looking at Smart Missiles versus Swamp, you can see that my Swamp is significantly weaker than my Smart Missiles, but even then it's doing almost double the damage of Smart Missiles. So I think with a second Swamp, the Poison Swamp is going to add so much value to the gameplay, just because we have an additional source of damage, an additional source of slow, and an additional source of stuns. So it provides a bit of everything. So I'll just go through the rest of the stats and you can have a look at whatever you would like to. So clearly Chain Lightning is still the thing that is carrying me, even more so than Orbs, more so than Death Ray and Black Hole combined. Okay, so let's have a look at those above me. So yep, no way I would beat Jägermaster. This guy, no way I would beat him as well. no way I would beat him as well. Below me, this guy would probably have ample opportunity to overtake me at some point. So I think this is going to be a very tough bracket for me. It seems like every bracket that I join is very tough, but I think it's it just goes to show that, you know, it's quite a competitive game. But the main point is that the last time I did a tournament with fast ultimate and increased enemy attack speed, I think I only managed to push for 1,300-ish waves. So from my perspective, I think it's still an improvement of 300 waves, and you know, I can't really work on which bracket that I'm getting, but the best I can do is to just try my best. Okay, so that was the first playtest. Let's have a go at it again, and in this time round I will cancel intro sprint after my wall breaks the second time. Okay, we are in it the second time around, so this time around I'll just fast forward to the point where I cancel the intro sprint. Okay, we are back at wave 1450 and my wall has broken again, so it's time to cancel intro sprint now, which means that I can turn on my demon mode. So the benefit of having the demon mode activated now means that I've got more damage, which means that potentially I would be taking less chip damage, hopefully. Because the game speed is so fast at where I'm at right now, it's very difficult for me to say where I'm taking my damage from. Potentially it's just going to be either range or fast enemies if I'm not being hit by the boss. Okay, it is wave 1505. We have just taken a bit of damage. I'm not sure where it came from. So my hope is that because I have cancelled intro sprint earlier, I'm able to save my energy charges towards the later part of the run. But that is conditional on, I guess, having enough death-defy procs. Because at this stage, I don't think I have enough attack speed to be able to juggle the enemies. Or maybe I'm just not dealing enough damage to kill the ranged enemies in the black holes just yet. Okay, it is wave 1621. I think I just took a hit of energy shield. I'm not sure where it came from, as usual. Wall was rebuilt, but it just broke immediately. It's been happening since I cancelled my intro sprint. I'm pretty sure it's just because of the ranged enemies in the black hole at this stage. and we are at wave 1655 and the run has ended. Now guys, this is actually really good news for me because I obtained 20 waves less, about 20 waves less by cancelling intro sprint earlier. So it's taken me an extra like 17 minutes or something to do this run for lower waves. And the main reason for that is just Death Defy procs. So because of Berserker Mastery, when I get a Death Defy, I get a lot more damage that allows me to clear off the enemies a lot quicker. And in the previous run I had 9 Death Defies, now I've got 3. And that has resulted in lower wave count overall. So essentially, the news or the takeaway that I have from this is that it's great news that I don't have to cancel my intro sprint early in future, because at the end of the day the performance is just going to be largely dependent on how many Death Defies I can get at the end of the day. Overall chain lightning damage, we can see it's gone up slightly from before, but that is to be expected because I've got more waves that I'm dealing damage now. Overall damage is just higher than the previous run, just because there's more opportunities to do damage. Right, so I guess that means that I would probably end off this tournament at rank 4. Hopefully Sun Pro does not figure out a better strategy, hopefully, and is able to, you know, I hope he does not go above 1539, because then if I get into position 5, I'm going to lose out on a bit of rewards. But otherwise, I think that concludes the playtesting. I think the main conclusion that I have is that there's not going to be much of a performance difference between cancelling intro sprint early and not cancelling intro sprint early. And my rationale for that is because towards the end of the run, that is when the enemies have the most health, and if I'm unable to kill the enemies at that stage, then that's when I'm going to be dying. So cancelling the intro sprint earlier, although it allows me to save on those energy shield charges, those charges will be used up very quickly anyway, and if anything, it's not going to affect my wave count at the end of the day by too much. And I think this is great news for those of us who use the Smart Demon mode thing, because we can basically just AFK our tournament runs and we should still obtain relatively similar positions. Now in a situation like where I find myself, where the next person in front of me is say 6 waves ahead of me, bear in mind that I've already done a respec and funneled my coin into damage for this to happen. I'm not sure how much more I can squeeze out to be able to overtake him, but I guess in a situation like this, maybe it might be worth considering a respec, in the sense that, well, maybe what I can now do is take off the coins from these 2 portions over here, maybe funnel them into either attack speed or crit factor or super crit multiplier, something like, maybe crit factor would be a good point, because then I can try to hopefully get a lot of berserker procs, get a lot of ultimate weapon crit procs, and potentially that might enable me to be able to overtake him. I probably wouldn't do that unless for some reason I get overtaken and someone is in position 4. Maybe I might try to squeeze out that last bit of optimization in my tower. Right, I think that concludes the playtesting for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking, and for those of who haven't subscribed already, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Right, catch you guys in the next one. Bye.